What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your favorite Big Unk, and we are excited to be able to talk to you today here at Keep Moving. As always, I'm your host, Big Unk, the man who's traveled around the world and back again, and my wonderful colleague, Captain Eli. Here we are. Let's get to it here with Keep It Moving. What's going on, Eli?
Oh, not too much. Enjoying the summer sun and nice weather. How about you?
The summer solstice.
Is it there already?
It's there. I have no idea I have no idea if it's a summer solstice or not.
Oh.
But I definitely know that it is. Oops.
Fake news.
Is it really fake news?
You could be right eventually. Depends on when this comes out.
Speaking of fake news, did you know that it is the 47th president's birthday?
Really?
Yeah.
How old is he turning? 60 years old?
Oh, gosh, geez, no. God darn it, no. He is turning a beautiful shade of 60.
You sure?
Yeah, beautiful shade of 60.
Uh-huh.
Plus 20.
Oh, no.
So
he doesn't look a day over 80 years old.
Exactly. He is 80 years old today, so...
80 years old?
Sorry.
Hey.
He made it.
Happy birthday.
He made it, folks. He made it to whatever age this is.
Yeah, it's an impressive feat, considering the way he lives his life, what he eats, how he thinks about medical science. It's impressive.
Oh, I absolutely think it's impressive. I think it's very impressive that he's managed to live this long. Yeah, he managed to stay here long enough, right?
Yeah, a lot longer than a lot of people were hoping he would.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. All I know is I am excited that we all have I'm super excited that we all have the ability to live in our existence, be here politely with one another, and ultimately get the things done that we needed. But as a celebration for America's 250th birthday this week, Eli, did you know that last night, on top of terrible thunderstorms on the East Coast, we had the UFC 250.
Wow, sounds impressive.
Yeah, to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. Much democracies do not last much longer than that. And then obviously the 250th UFC fight, which, by the way, Dana White had nothing to do with the UFC rules written. UFC rules were written on a napkin by a gentleman by the name of Jeff Blatnick, who passed away several years ago. Great wrestler, America's first heavyweight Olympic gold champion in Greco-Roman wrestling. Really cool guy.
Dana White, another beloved American, almost as liked as Trump.
Well, Dana White is he's human.
People say he is, for sure. They claim it all the time.
What is your hatred of Dana White?
I don't have time to go into it, but he's like a reptile person. He's like a really bad guy.
Like, how bad?
demonic, I think, is a pretty good descriptor.
Really?
Real piece of shit. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, I did not know that. But, you know, I did want to talk today about the whole UFC fight and where this is leading young people.
Well, you're going to have to take the lead on this one because I confess I have not been paying any attention to it. And so I'm interested to hear more.
All right. So, Eli, the UFC 250 was hosted at the White House. And I think many Americans can agree right now that at a time where gas prices are high, inflation is high, government overreach is attempting to, you know, expand FISA warrants, sometimes the people do need an extraction, right? You know? And
Sure.
The 250th anniversary of our nation was supposed to be that distraction. Just July 4th, the culmination of 250 years of a democratic experiment. But when you have an event that's on the White House lawn, who would you invite to something like that, Eli?
Oh, I don't know. Famous wrestlers of the past?
Okay, famous fighters of the past. Who else would you invite?
I'm trying to think of who I'd bring. It's just people of note, people who enjoy the sport, I suppose.
Okay. There was a gentleman by the name of Sean Strickland. Now, Sean Strickland is a UFC champion. He's one of the middleweight UFC champions, upperweight, I guess. I don't know. He was a huge Trump supporter at one point. He has now left MAGA.
Oh, no.
Well, you know, his own personal decisions. But, you know, wouldn't you invite your UFC champion that's an American? And at the time, he was the only one. So he's the only UFC champion who's an American. Wouldn't you invite him to at least be at the event, even if he's not fighting?
Of course. That's off the top of my head. That was my idea. Yeah.
Well, guess who they invited before they invited him?
No clue.
Oh, you have a clue here. Mm-hmm. Just take a guess. Take a wild international guest of anyone who drops bombs.
Netanyahu.
Yes. Benjamin Netanyahu was invited before the UFC champion, Sean
I was
Strickland.
going to make a joke and say, like, Benito Mussolini or Hitler. And it's like, no, or modern.
Yes. Okay. So Benjamin Netanyahu is invited. Sean Strickland is not. So despite what you think about Donald Trump, about his presidency, if this is a celebration of 250 years of America, would you not invite your only, at the time, because a gentleman won last night who, I think he's American, but he may not be, who brings America together?
I mean, like, yeah, but the calculation you're missing here is Trump's a petty C word who loves drama. So,
well, it gets better.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it gets better. He not only was not invited, here's why he wasn't invited. He doesn't agree with Israel's war. And he spoke out against it. And he didn't even, he said nothing about the Jewish people. He said specifically Israel hurting children in Christian towns. Like everything he said is true.
yes,
And the White House is like, well, he's not invited. But yet you invited
the guy doing it.
the guy doing the thing.
Yeah, well, they're showing their hand that they like their modern day Adolf Hitler and not the people who criticize him.
To me, this is more detrimental to young people than anything else, because it goes back to what I believe is harmful to, and this is just my beliefs, not anyone else's, nothing here. Remember, I'm a character. Big Unk is a character. And as a character, I think that young people should have choices. Do you not agree?
I agree.
So, Eli, why would we choose to invite a foreign leader, before we invite our own champion?
Do you want the short answer or the long answer?
I'll take a moderate answer. So,
well, there's this wonderful gal named Miriam Adelson who gave a shit ton of money to the Trump administration for his election to be basically a blank check to Israel.
So is this like what? I mean, what do you mean she gave a blank check?
No, she gave like $300 million to the Trump administration. For him to give Israel a blank check.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How much was it?
Yeah, I believe it's $300 million. It was an incredible amount of money. It's the reason Trump, comes out and says, "Oh yeah, Israel deserves the Golan Heights" or something like that. She's a demonic Zionist piece of crap. Her husband, I forget Adelson was his last name. He died.
He was the founder of a bunch of casinos.
Yeah, he was a giant piece of crap. Got caught on tapes saying some crazy racist stuff about the players for the teams he owned. Like one of his girls was like...
You mean the guy from the Lakers? He was with the...
Sheldon Adelson is his name.
Yeah. Yes.
Adelson is his name.
Yeah. He and it was with the was it the Kings? LA Kings?
That doesn't sound right, but I'm not.
It'd be LA Kings, Sacramento Kings.
He was saying he was uncomfortable with his. I don't know if it was his gourmand or what, but he was saying he didn't like her hanging out with this guy because he was black.
Wait a second.
And he was one of his players.
So he was having an affair.
Yeah, that's the least surprising or disgusting thing.
So he was having an affair with his mistress, and he opted to just be like...
if I'm remembering the contours of the controversy. And he just looked like a gelatinous mass. Just disgusting piece of crap, but incredibly wealthy.
Oops. Well, that's stupid.
Yeah, so the reason Trump is so beholden to Israel, if it's not just because they have like Epstein file style blackmail against him, it's because he's paid to do it. He's less of a Zionist than Joe Biden, but he's just as bad,
That's awful.
Yeah, it's like real bad.
Well, does he?
Like Joe Biden really believes in the Zionist movement. Trump doesn't. He just like the money.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Man plus shift plus 5. Well, that is awful. But where was I at? I forgot where I was at, Eli.
We were starting with the UFC inviting Benjamin the player wrestler.
Yeah.
Boxer.
Oh, the fighter.
Thank you.
Yes. So this gentleman, so he then goes on to the fighter goes out there, and so Sean Strickland is not invited to the fight. He then goes out and he joins the crowd. He's like, I'm just going to show up. So he shows up in his street clothes. He doesn't have the UFC title. He's just a normal citizen. He goes to the Fan Fest. Now, the Fan Fest is free entry. Just free entry. So anyone can be there. And then they say that he is citing a riot.
They're such babies. They're such incredible babies.
That's right. That's free speech for you in America right now. UFC champion Sean Strickland is told he is the problem. I don't know about you, Eli, But I feel really disgusted knowing that that's the issue here.
Yeah, I mean, they're perverts who like demonic, awful things. I'm not surprised at all.
I'm surprised. Sean Strickland, UFC fighter, goes to the fight, is not invited to the actual fight, goes to the fight as a regular citizen, and now is being told he is inciting a riot. And so when we talk about young people, their priorities are messed up. This is why. Because we would rather invite a foreign leader to our celebrations than to celebrate with our own people.
Not just a foreign leader, someone who's wanted by the International Court, Criminal Court for war crimes.
He's wanted by
an actual war criminal.
Really?
Yeah. He's an actual fucking war criminal, and he's here and getting hugs and kisses, and I'm sure a bunch of people running around trying to get photos with him.
I think that's disgusting.
I think it's absolutely disgusting.
I think it's sad too.
Pathetic, even.
A lot of people are saying things, but I think it's a mounting thing. So we've got Sean Strickland, the UFC, not being able to uphold simple American values or invite Americans to the event.
Yeah, it's just a party exercise to reward people who say, wow, this is amazing. You're so smart. You're so good.
Well, yeah, so Sean Strickland doesn't get invited. There's some storms early on. Unfortunately, it did. Fortunately, the event still went on as planned, although there are comments. But the event has a twist to it, Eli.
Okay, this is getting interesting.
Oh, yes. There's a gentleman by the name of Daniel Cormier. Are you familiar with Daniel Cormier?
I'm not.
Oddly enough, I am familiar with Daniel Cormier. I have known Daniel Cormier since I was like 13 or 14.
Damn.
And for everyone who's watching or listening into this podcast, I am 40. So Daniel Cormier, me knowing him, knowing of him, being around him, I've worked with Daniel in like capacity. So Daniel is not a friend of mine. I will make that very clear. Daniel is not a friend of mine personally. I know Daniel. I've worked with him and his team. I've actually refereed it. I've refereed matches while Daniel's in the corner screaming at me. But Daniel Cormier was a 2008 Olympian. I think he was a 2004 and 2008 Olympian. And he is good friends with Kerry McCoy, who was the head wrestling coach at the University of Maryland during Big Unk's time of competing. Remember?
A wrestling Olympian?
Yeah, he was a wrestler. He became a multi-time UFC fighter, champion. He was Bellator, UFC, just, Strike Force, all the UFC things, all the fighting MMA things. Daniel worked his way up from. Now, Daniel comes from very humble beginnings. But Daniel Cormier was out getting ready for the fight, and then he sends out a tweet. And let me just read you the tweet. The tweet says, I probably shouldn't be posting this, but, and on the tweet, he exposes Eric Trump jumping in his DM saying, hey, I'm really looking forward for being there tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing you and meeting you. Daniel's like, hey, bro, thanks for reaching out. Yeah, much love. Because Daniel's a really chill guy. He understands his market, who he's with, who he's not. Daniel goes out there and he puts out the tweet. Let me see if I can just pull up this tweet real quick. Anyway. And he pulls out the tweet. He puts it up. Sean O'Malley screen records it. Now, Sean O'Malley is a UFC favorite. Everyone loves him. And he he takes a picture of the screen, like, whoop, as soon as it goes up. Because less than maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, it's gone. And so then after the fight, Eric Trump and Daniel are like, oh, my phone, my Twitter got hacked. Eric Trump says it's a fake screenshot. So which one of
that's so baby made.
Which one of those is true is my question. Was it Daniel Cormier saying that it was not happening, or is it that it did happen and they got busted?
Yeah. Oh, Donald Trump, a pinnacle of honesty and character. I can't believe he would do something like that.
I can't believe it either.
Donald Trump Jr., right?
It's Eric Trump. It's Eric.
Beavis and Butthead. It's the same person.
Actually, it's even worse because everyone already calls Eric stupid.
Yeah. I mean, they're both incredibly stupid. I think Junior's probably the dumber, but you need a jeweler's loop to tell them apart.
Well, from what I've heard, it's that Eric is the one that's like, I'm good. Hey guys. Can I play baseball with you guys?
A quick aside, is he the one that Trump slapped the shit out of for trying to go to a baseball game not wearing a suit?
Oh.
Do you remember that?
No, is that a thing?
Yeah, it was a fun little anecdote. They were going to go a baseball game, and he was dressed casually, and Trump slapped him because he wasn't wearing a suit. Great father.
Well, I hope that Eric Trump is. I hope that there are people looking into these events, because
people should be taking note.
Because it wasn't just he DM'd him; he was asking him for insider information, like looking to place some bets. Who you got?
You sent me the tweets earlier, and he's literally like, got inside information. Anyone's injured, anyone who's gonna take a fall. Do you know who's gonna win?
He asked if the fights were rigged.
Yeah, it's incredibly explicit. He's like, I want to put some money down, and the gentleman responding was just like, I think everyone's in good health. I'm not allowed to bet on this. He's running the up and up.
Yeah. Daniel's a good guy. He's like, hey, I'm doing this. Like, look, I mean, if you saw Daniel's face, and I can agree. So, as Big Unk, I was at the White House when Obama was there. I was at the White House when George W. Bush was around. Anyway, I've been around, Eli, so and I was even there during the time where there was a shooting at the White House, and they had us all running into the streets. But I just feel like, hey, you're the son of the president. If the Obama girls started asking guys what kind of car they drove, and it was on Twitter, there would be an uproar. They're gold diggers. If the Bush girls went online and did the exact same thing, they're gold diggers.
Yeah.
But for some reason, when it comes to this president's family, they're not gold diggers. They're just trying to get a leg up. Like, what do you need a leg up for? You have all the legs up.
Yeah, but their fans are perverts and morons. They're like seeing this obvious direct corruption in their face, where I don't know, it's hard to defend it in any direction, and they're still like, this is normal, this is fine.
Well, I don't know if they're
in a cult. They're cultists.
Well, I don't know if they're idiots and morons, but I definitely know that it's inappropriate for anyone to place wagers on a combat or international sport with insider information from someone directly tied to the affiliation of the program. Daniel could have simply went back in there and said, hey, guys, throw this fight.
Yeah, I would go back to say, certainly seems criminal, at least, right? But it's a time of crime. It's a time of corruption.
Well, do you remember the Chicago Black Sox scandal?
Of course, 1919.
So, 1919, the Chicago White Sox are alleged.
World Series.
They throw the World Series, right? And it is a huge scandal for the American people.
Yeah.
There is no difference than what occurred yesterday than what occurred in 1919. It is someone with an inside track to, and this isn't a mob. This isn't the mob. This is people that have direct connections to Kash Patel and the FBI, to the President of the United States, to the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. These are people who have direct inside connections to make a crime happen and to be forever covered up.
Yeah, it's likely one of the most corrupt administrations we've ever had.
Likely, probably. I mean, didn't you say? I mean, do you think this is better or worse than Woodrow Wilson?
I think worse. I think objectively worse. Wilson sucked. It was awful, but I think this is honestly worse.
And that's where I come back to is it's not about did they just do it? Because you know what, personally, in my world, if a guy on the street calls a buddy he knows, who calls a guy he knows, who calls the guy who washes the toilets at the White House and says, "Hey man," and the guy in the White House says, "Man, that dude," and I'll just use Sean Strickland since he wasn't actually in a fight. "Oh, Sean he's limping on his left leg." "Oh, good. His left leg's injured. Okay, cool. I'll place a bet against Sean Strickland to lose because he's injured." Now, that's not the same because those people have no power. There's no crime that can really happen. It's like he called somebody that worked at the White House but doesn't have any power, doesn't have a direct affiliation with the organization, really can't tell Pete Hegseth or in them anything, you know, is not an active investor of TKO, which TKO is the parent company of this fighting. Oh, by the way, TKO is now also owned by not the Edelsons, the CBS people.
Oh,
Ellison, yeah, the Ellison group.
Also, big Israel's boosters.
Yeah. So
surprise, surprise.
So when you see this, you're like, what's going on here? What is happening that we are so corrupt in this country right now? Because a man who directly has power, who claims presidential privilege, all that stuff, is now like Trump owns stock in this company. Your kids own stock in the company, TKO. You host the event at the White House. Who's making money off of this? You are. You know what? I have to say this because I am a big patriot. I'm a big patriot, Eli. I don't know if you know this. I actually, I stand for the anthem. I sing the national anthem. I get that people who look like me sometimes don't, and I say that's their choice. But for me, I stand because of where I come from, because my grandfathers fought for this country, because my great uncles and my other relatives fought for this country. I stand, but that's me. That's the privilege of being an American. And to watch the Hatchet Act that's supposed to stop presidents from profiting off of their office, to watch him take $60 million of U.S. money.
I don't know how you could be of good conscience and love America and see this and be like, this is a good thing. You got cotton candy for brains if you see this and you think it's good.
You're absolutely right, Eli. And I think that lies the problem, is that we are a nation now that has foregone our sense of morals for our sense of profit.
Profit over everything else.
It sucks. It sucks.
It does. It's a really bad way to structure your society.
It's a really bad way to put, yeah. And that's why I said young people are at harm here. Not me and you, but it's young people. It's families. It's like, to the guy who works for those companies. What if they did create, what if there was a criminal activity that happened? Now what happens to that person that does work there for that company? They might go out of a job. They might be reduced to nothing, and it's painful. And to see it happen in our Capitol, I mean, they started a fight on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial.
It's pretty trashy, I'm not going to lie. It feels bad.
It does. And yeah, it does feel bad. But there is one good thing. There are a lot of people now seeing those tweets that went out, and they're calling for the investigation. And I'm going to say it. I found out 2 minutes after it went out there, and I sent it to some people that I know. I'm like, yo, this is just inappropriate. Because this same group of people is now like, they're calling for, and I don't know if you know this, but there's a current college football player, a quarterback at Texas Tech, who was banned from the NCAA for gambling.
Gambling at all.
Like he was gambling. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put it better. He is the Chicago White Sox or the Black Sox. He was betting.
Gambling on himself.
He was betting on himself.
It's not gambling if you know the outcome.
So he was betting on himself. And he's like, well, I never bet on us to lose. And it's like, bro, it doesn't matter. You're gambling with inside information.
I've got another example of that. We all remember maybe I don't remember. Not DeSantis. Who's the gay scammer artist?
Oh,
Republican?
The congressman from New York.
Yes.
Oh,
Santos?
Yeah, Santos.
Yeah, George Santos. So he recently bet on himself not going to the State of Union.
Yeah.
Right. But he came out and publicly said, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. People are saying I'm not. They're lying. So the Kalshi, I don't know, the statistic, they're saying it was 70% chance that he was going to go.
Oh, Polymarket.
Whatever the bullshit gambling site. I hope we're not trying to get one of their sponsorships because holy shit. But they put it to the FCC saying this is obviously a violation of the, I forget exactly the statute. It's basically you have prior knowledge and then you make a statement to the contrary. And then you're also betting on yourself.
Yeah.
Did not go.
Yeah. Like you're like, oh, I'm going. Oh, I didn't go.
I'm taking out $100 million position that I will eat a sandwich today. Guys, I hate sandwiches. I would never eat a sandwich.
Yeah. And it's distasteful. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so
really effed us over. They opened up Pandora's box and said, gambling's fine everywhere. Gambling's fine.
Yeah. And so now young people like this kid in Texas is like, well, I didn't, I was only betting on us to win. I didn't bet on us to lose. And it's like, bro, it doesn't matter. That's like rule number 1 of sports. You don't bet on your team. You don't bet on your sport. You stay as far away from it. And let me tell you, this kid bet $90,000.
Hey, believe in yourself, I say. Take out big swings.
Not that it was his profits. That's how much he was gambling with. 90 grand.
It's crazy.
In a year. Talking about, well, I'm just, I was betting on my teammates. Bro, nobody cares. You were profiting off of inside information. You knew who you were playing. You knew what the week looked like. You knew what the game plan was. Because coaches do it all the time. Coaches will send in spies. And this is a true statement, Eli. College coaches will send a spy to another school, aka Michigan, and stand behind the other coach while they're play calling signals. Michigan did that. They legitimately got caught doing it. And so now you've got a kid who's banned from the NCAA gambling, but now there's a judge in Texas, and the kid goes to Texas Tech, and a judge in Lubbock, Texas, put a stay on his suspension says, oh, we're going to put a stay on this till he's heard in federal court, which could take up to a year.
Maybe I'm misremembering. Is this that Fifth Circuit judge who's basically made him judge of the U.S.? Like he's doing rulings in other states.
I don't know about this guy. I don't know about this guy, but this is what the judge did. The judge basically said, yeah.
Texas has some of the most dog shit judges in the country, I'd say. Just worst. They're whatever the worst ruling you could think of, they're like, yes, that's the one I'm going with.
Yeah. And so they're like filing in Lubbock, Texas. The violation stems from the young man playing football at Indiana. Mm-hmm. And so he shouldn't be allowed. And so the NCAA banned him for life, but now they're allowing him to play through this ruling and stay. And now everyone's saying this is ridiculous. This is absolutely atrocious. And so now college coaches are not, they're cutting off Texas Tech. They're like, we're not going to play you.
That's fair. Completely fair.
You're not going to follow the rules. We're not going to play you. We're not going to give you. Yeah.
You allow this to stand, it will continue and become worse.
And see, I bring this back to the conversation about Donald Trump and Eric Trump about them gambling. It's like, it's not just you. It is about young people who think there are no consequences for our actions. There's just none. There has to be a clear line. And I'm going to say this to the camera. Young people, there has to be a clear line between that organization and your actions. Young people, you cannot think that you can get away with things just because you're like, well, so-and-so got away with it. It's like, that's not everybody. And when we start making a rule for everybody based on the privileged, it becomes dangerous. I know that, Eli, we've talked about it in the past, and I don't want to bring it up all the time, but you cannot base your rules off of 1% of anything. This is my consistency. This goes to our conversation with, we had that conversation about trans people. I'm like, why are we making rules for one person? Like, it sounds weird. Why are we spending so much money, time, and effort? If there are consistent rules for everybody, there has to be consistency because the rules at least have some level of expectation. Now, I'm not going to get back into trans issue. I don't want to bring that up. Sorry about that. But it's about being consistent with our rules and our expectations. And young people that gamble on sports in college, specifically, if you're banned, you're banned.
Yeah, I mean, like, this issue comes up every few years. There's a famous case, I believe, from the 70s of a college basketball team doing insider betting on themselves, saying, oh, we're going to do this many baskets, we're going to lose by this much, win by that much. They've opened Pandora's box, and I'm very anti-gambling, to be honest. I think it's pretty bad in most circumstances. It's one of the highest rates of death for addiction.
Oh, yeah, suicide. You mean people that unalive themselves and things of that nature?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, look, see, Eli, this is why we talk about the keep moving movement. It's not about unaliving yourself. It's about aliving yourself. And it starts with admitting our problems. And most gamblers will never admit they have a problem.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. I'm winning. Oh, I'm just down right now. I have a friend down by 60 grand.
That's crazy.
Up by 120, down by 60. I'm like, bro, that's $180,000. $180,000. What were you thinking?
Yeah. I could see how gambling could be fun. You put a couple bucks on this or that. It's a friendly, like, wager. But when it's hundreds and thousands of dollars, I don't get it, man. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. And so, dangerous. And at the end of the day, Eli, I think that I think just most young people just need to know that there are options other than gambling to make money. There are ways to make money outside of taking from others
You know, the whole idea of commerce is about trade, right? Even if you don't exchange money, commerce is about the exchange of goods and services, correct?
Yeah.
And so if you're trading me something, so we trade our time, you know, talking to hopefully one day having 1 million followers and making some money.
Inshallah.
What?
Inshallah.
What does that mean?
If God wills it.
Oh, inshallah. Okay. Oh, don't push that. Yeah. So we could trade goods and services, information, but to just try to extract, and that's what Eric Trump was doing. He was just trying to extract information, allegedly. Allegedly, he's trying to extract information without trading anything for goods or services. He's just putting his money up and going, I want to win.
And I guess the thing that stood out to me most is how blatant it was. He didn't do it in a form, like in a phone call and ask what no one's recording, and it's he said, she said.
Yeah, it's a DM.
Now claiming like, oh, I got hacked. It's like, yeah, man, who believes that?
Yeah, like, well, you slid into, basically, he slid into another man's DMs.
Yeah, he slid into DMs and he wasn't trying to get, one thing. He was trying to get another.
Oh, so you think Eric was looking at Daniel Cormier going, what's up, sexy?
I mean, what's up, sexy? You got any big tips?
Yeah, and Daniel's got some big tips because, I mean, he is the voice of MMA. He is one of the. I've been with Daniel. I've got a photo that I took at the NCAA's, and it's Daniel Cormier and Jordan Burroughs doing commentating at the NCAA's, and like I'm right there, right? So, and the reason why I was right there is because I had actually invited the ESPN media person to come up to our suite. So, if you don't know, every year, organization that is, it's called the BWA. And we invite them to our suite every year just to come up, see what we're doing, hang out.
BWA, what's that stand for?
The Black Wrestling Association. Black Wrestlers Association. And so we are working with them, trying to, just build movement because we want to put NCAA wrestling back in historically black colleges and universities. And that's also through HBCU wrestling. So there's two organizations working towards the same mission. One focused on getting the athletes to go there, and the other one focused on building the campus scenario. So we want to build the sport of wrestling. And I'm there, and Daniel's in our suite, or Daniel comes by the suite, and that's why I said I've worked with him in different aspects, and I've known of him, and like I said, he's not my best friend, but it's this guy who's the voice of a sport. Right. And if you're the voice of the sport, people listen. People will bet based off of, the talking heads, the what's the guy from New York, the New York guy that got arrested and went to prison. They made a documentary about him. He's a talking head. He's like a shock jock. He's got this raspy voice. But anyway, this guy, like people bet on games based on what information these guys get access to. And many of them get access to information that you and I will never get. If you're in the media and you've got media credentials, you can get onto a football field. You can get into the locker room. You can see who's hobbling or who's nursing a knee. You look to see where the ice bag's at. You look where the trainers are paying extra attention to somebody. Is it a hamstring? And so to know that we've got people that have access to the highest level of our government. And remember, gambling has taken down more people than the CIA.
Wow.
I believe that. There are more people that have been lost everything. The sharks and the Vegas guys are quite good at getting their money. They will find you. They will get their dollar.
I just have to say, everyone thinks you're going to win it big, you're going to go to Vegas, make a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
How do you think they built those casinos?
Pensions.
with a lot of people who have the same idea as you. You're like, oh, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. It wouldn't be there if that was the case.
I mean, the way a lot of the casinos originally got built was through pension funds. And it was people going, yeah, we're going to take your pension fund, give it to this private company, and then hope for a return. Mm-hmm. That was the gamble. I don't know if the Teamsters ever got their money back because unions have for a long time struggled, especially in anti-union places like Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of anti-union sentiment there. So when these things are happening, it's not happening just to you and I. It is what is a direct reflection on our values and our morals. And again, I place bets occasionally, right? I bet on the World Cup. I bet on Germany.
I'm not a big gambler myself.
I know you're not, but I take risk, right? There's one thing that...
Is it a friendly amount of money? You put like $100 down? Or
it's like $5. Germany wins at 4% odds. I win like $173 or something like that.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, like I want the extra $173.
I don't begrudge anyone with small amounts, but don't obviously bet more than you can lose.
Well, yeah, but Eric Trump isn't betting more than he can lose because you know what? He's already rigged the game.
He doesn't want to bet if he doesn't know the outcome. Which, again, it's just obvious cheating, obvious corruption, and I would expect him never to face the consequences of that.
I don't think he'll ever face the consequences either. But I think that we are running into that slippery slope where people are now thinking this is the norm. And it's not the norm. It should never be the norm. It can't be the norm. Because if it becomes the norm, then we ultimately are done as a country.
Yeah. Ripping up the social contract, listing up your belief that things are generally trying to be fair, trying to be on the up and up. Once that falls out, foul. It's kind of done,
Yeah. So there's just a lot of bad things. There was one more thing that came out of this UFC weekend that I did want to touch on. We've just got a few more minutes left, so I just want to make sure that I hit on it. There was a UFC fighter who fake vomited on himself. Former NFL linebacker Hatchett, I think his name's Jordan Hatchett or something along those lines. He went on the stage after he won and he said, one more thing. Michelle Obama's a man. I'm like, what the?
They're still doing this shit. What a loser.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It is now it's definitely not about America. It's just you're placating to the fan base of the UFC. You have made it a political statement. There is a man who is a Trump MAGA supporter who said this. He said, I have had my issues with artists that backed out of Freedom 250. I have issues with people who backed out of the concerts for the 4th of July. And he goes, and Reba McEntire, he was talking about, was it not Reba McEntire? Was it Gretchen? The country artist that backed out.
A bunch did.
Yeah.
A bunch did.
A bunch of people. Like,
not Vanilla Ice, though. Not Vanilla Ice.
Not Vanilla Ice. But all these artists backed out and people were like, they're anti-American. No, it's because the event isn't American. This isn't about America. This is about one political party. Because to go up there and talk about Michelle Obama, Michelle Obama's a man.
It's about one man. This is Trump's party. This is his little birthday bash.
Why go up there and say anything about Michelle Obama?
Who's thinking about her?
Yeah.
This is the problem with Republicans is they never can let anything go. This is like a 10-year-old meme. And they're like, Michelle Obama's a man, by the way. Okay. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah. Happy birthday, America.
Yeah. That you could tell they're just deeply unhappy because they can't let anything go. They're just sitting there seething about Michelle Obama's a man. Okay. Great.
Any UFC fighter that takes their time to call a former first lady a man who has now been out of office for over a decade, mind you, it's been over a decade since she was in office as first lady. Yeah. And you're still talking about her like she runs your life, bro. She is living rent free in your head.
Yeah.
She's living rent free in your head. I'm in your head. I'm in your head.
It's incredible loser shit. They've got everything they wanted. They've won. And they're still deeply, deeply unhappy.
It's the woke mob. That's all this is. It's their version of the woke mob. This is
liberal at the end of the day.
This would be liberalism. This is extreme liberalism at its best. Crying over somebody's looks on a national stage celebrating the nation's birthday when you said it was non-political and you gave this guy a mic on CBS. You've invited Benjamin Netanyahu. You're partnered with the Edelsons and like what more can be anti-American than a fight on the grounds of the United States? And people would say, well, other presidents had fights on the White House.
What, in 1902?
They participated in those fights. Let me be clear. Teddy Roosevelt would get out there and actually box. Teddy Roosevelt boxed people. He actually wrestled with people. He didn't sit in a chair at 80 years old.
He was quite a pugilist. He loved sports.
Yeah. He also hated big corporations.
Famously so. Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of those people that like I wish Republicans were these days.
I wish Democrats were like that.
I wish Teddy Roosevelt, I wish the party, Eli, I never told you this, but Big Unk wanted to be I was a Republican for a reason.
Really?
I believed in the vision and the ideas of people like Teddy Roosevelt. Not perfect, by no means. I'm a black man in America, I'm a black uncle in America, man. I get pulled over for damn near everything. But with the idea of Teddy Roosevelt being anti-corruption, that's what made America great, is that at least you had a glimmer of hope every time the nation would get better.
Yeah, I think he recognized the situation they're in. The Gilded Age was an incredible type of corruption and people having nothing and people having these giant gilded mansions. And it's just so obvious that the system was rigged for the rich. So putting even a little modicum of brakes on the whole thing was just a revolutionary idea. And he's still beloved, 100 years later.
Yeah.
But that spirit's not alive right now. People, I don't know.
Yeah. And we can't get it to that point where people now recognize, again, this is not about you and I. It's about our future. It's about the community, the nieces and nephews around the world, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, the people who have to carry on the legacy. And what do they think America looks like now? They think it looks like a UFC fight where you can bet on the winner, not bet on who you think might win, but you're betting on the winner only, using inside information, and you think cheating is okay. Where students now use AI for just about everything. Again, I think AI is a tool. It is a tool, but they're using it for everything to determine their life outcomes. And that to me is problematic. That is why democracy will die if we do not catch it. And Pope Leo says the same thing. You cannot have a world that relies on something that is not human telling you what to do. And we are dealing with non-humanoids in a lot of our government. they might be aliens, and I might actually believe a little bit of that right now.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. You see the ultra wealthy, the Zuck, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk.
Oh, Mark Zuckerberg was there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He looks like an alien. He does not look human.
So we are controlled by the masses of morons, not by the masses of the people. Our huddle masses are now hunger lines. There are bread lines all around the United States right now. There are food insecurity issues. I know that a lot of people may disagree with how I say things, but the truth is what I say. Listen to what I say, not how I say it. And if you listen to what I'm saying, I don't believe that there are bad people controlling our government. I think there are bad people controlling our information. And that leads to worse people controlling your government. Bad people control your information, and those bad people have no interest in government. They don't want to be president because the president has no power in their world.
Yeah.
These bad people, they want your attention. They want your money, and they want everything that comes with it. And so, Eli, I think we need to take back America one more time, not through revolution, but through legislation, through policy, through people remembering who we were, that Teddy Roosevelt was a man of the people. He was a Republican who said no to corporations. He said no to monopolies. And he fought Standard Oil tooth and nail till his death. I mean, and if there's anything to be proud of, it's knowing that Standard Oil was broken up. The monopolies were faded into the thing of the past. America had its flourishing years where a Donald Trump's, grandfather who was a slumlord and his father who were slumlords could succeed because the monopolies were removed. That's what gave Donald Trump his options and his choices and his fight for the American values. It was getting rid of the monopolies, not entertaining the monopoly, not being part of the monopoly. It was when we got rid of those monopolies. When we said, no, 5 people shouldn't be able to control our entire GDP.
Yeah. It makes total sense to me. And they're also bad at it, too.
Yeah. How are they so bad at it?
The argument for all this is there's a meritocracy. They worked really hard. They deserve this, right?
Bro, I know guys who say they work really hard. It's like you not sleeping is not working really hard.
Yeah.
That's you staring at a screen going, I can't sleep until it hits $3.50. Sell. Yeah. You hit a button. You just didn't fall asleep. Now we have automated machines that do that.
Yeah.
But I had to work really hard for this money. Sure you did.
Mm-hmm. Making money is very hard work.
Yeah. So I see your hair is long again, by the way.
Yes, I need a haircut.
It's summer, too.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking of getting a mullet. Uh-oh. Silence is deafening. It's shorter on the sides. A modern mullet, not the 80s mullet. Oh, dear, Oh, God. I locked up Akil.
Yeah, you did. Well, Eli, that's the show for you for today. Thank you for joining us. And as always, keep moving. Don't let your feet stop you, and don't let society get you down, young people. This world will be better. I'm Big Unk. That's Eli. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And remember,